Muzyka Denis 7.
All I have to say is, drizzle, drizzle.
Cursed be the ground, for our sake. Both thorns and thistles it shall bring forth for us. For out of the ground we were taken, for the dust we are. And to the dust we shall return.
You can't win. You can't win. You can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they stay the same. You're getting way over your head, and you only got yourself to blame. You can't win, child. Can't break even. Can't get out of the game. Yeah.
I'm done. I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
All right, you Dusty Denizens, we're back again, okay, for another one. And I see that YouTube is crushing my notifications again, so I appreciate a like to put me into the algorithm. And if you would be so kind. And this is something that has been going around for a minute. and it was sent to me, and people wanted me to actually speak on it. So the first clip was only like maybe a couple minutes, which is the I guess the heart of what they want to talk about things. But I found the whole uh, conversation. So I didn't, it was, the clip was so short that I found it on Twitter. It was sent to me on Twitter that I think I said it might be enough for a standalone, but not enough for a live. So somebody else did the video and actually showed where the clip came from. And so I found the whole interview, which is interesting because she's a dominatrix. So I found that, and I said, well, maybe the extended little segment that they were talking about was about maybe 10 minutes. I said that's probably enough to do a live on. So we'll do that, and then maybe there's other sections if you guys want to get into it. We actually touch on other sections, but that's what we're going to do today. So this is punching the clock. Okay, this is black female fuckery, but these two are not from here. They're actually from the UK. So it's a little bit different. So it doesn't apply one-to-one. Just saying. All right, Adric is number one. Okay, Adric's back at the top. Okay, so it should be a fire stream. Prince is second. That makes it even better. And guess who's batting third? Okay, Instant Media coming in batting third. Okay, Free Agent Triple OG batting cleanup. Okay, and batting, batting fifth in case they're driving extra runs in case we get a rally going. Keep the rally going is Louis. All right, appreciate you. Navone, what's going on? Age of Machine, what's going on? Spain Man, what's happening? Now, this is coming from the same bunch of floating, all heterosexual, of course, was grape. This is what happens when stupid isn't stopped hard, faster, and earlier. Basically, the environment always makes corrections, okay? You can do anomalies, but the environment will always make corrections. Corey, what's going on? AL, what's happening? Inspired Truth, okay, with the AMA tax. One day to AMA tax. Sheila E. Oh, the women showing up for this one. What's going on, Sheila? Ilias, what's going on? Kinsey and Red, what's happening? Little Maple Leaf. I don't know. It kind of is in a sense, but since I'm black pill and I know how diesels get down, it's not really surprising to me. Trail, what's going on? Got to remember this woman is going to be a dominatrix, so she's a black pill diesel. So she's going to see men and marriage differently. Jimmy, what's going on? Usual Business, what's going on? Dusty Jones, Carl Hudson. Gundam, what's happening? I'm listening, what's happening? Black in the Middle, what's going on? Fernando's, what's going on? Ray, what's happening? Scorpion Black. Forever Blessed. Nate, what's going on, Nate? LXT, what's going on? Matt. Bureau, Supreme Pivot, what's going on? Rame Lab, Micah L, Babu, Kangaroo, the Yo, Chance, what's happening? Saint Seer, Kevin, what's going on? Del Quavius, what's going on, Del Quavius? I guess we're not talking politics, so Del Quavius is going to be a good boy today. Ninja Person, what's happening? Bo Johnson, what's going on? Chef, what's going on, man? Nate, I think marriage can be seen as sex work if you marry someone who's only with you for financial support. That's one of the things that they actually said, okay? Hurricane Greg, but we'll get into it. Zulu Black, because if you turn marriage and that kind of stuff into a transactional situation, okay, you're opening up forces that you don't want to open up. You don't want to open up marriage to market forces. Brother G, what's going on? Sexual, but all the onus is on the men to break their backs. Unbelievable. It's more complicated than that. Okay. Marriage is not sex work. Okay. If it was, then it would be open up to market forces. Okay. Marriage is not transactional, and it's not supposed to be. Prodigy, I don't know what you even on, man. I don't even know what you guys. You guys just take something and run with it and think that what you think is 100% correct without even checking yourself. You actually need to check yourself, okay? If you whatever your theory is, okay, Now, how good you think your theory is, it needs to be checked against reality, okay? And y'all don't check it against reality, which is a problem. And Prodigy, you've been around me long enough, man, to know better. Okay, you should be much further along than you are, which kind of saddens me in a way. But anyhow, let's go ahead and get into this. Got 210 watching. How many likes we got? And at 94 likes, y'all get my likes up, okay? Because YouTube is shadow banning me right now. They're mad at me for my political work. So, Brother Chris, what's going on? So this is from. No, it's a statement. Your statement's a theory, sir. And I know better. Who you think you talking to, man? I know better. Don't give me that bullshit. Don't give me that bullshit. I know who I'm talking to. You've been around me long enough. I know what the fuck is going on. This is from ZZ Mills. So basically, just like anytime else, ZZ Mills, if we use their stuff, go give her a like. Okay. She got 1.2K likes. I don't know how many she got. She got 40,000 views on this. So this is actually trending. Okay. It's actually trending. So, but this is from the UK. And we're gonna get into this, okay? This is I'm sure everybody's probably heard this clip, the clip that was taken from this already. But we're gonna get into the whole segment, and maybe we'll touch on other segments. What are the other segments? The other segments are, I would say, the prostitution form marriage is prostitution. Okay, pick me don't work. Once I'm done, I'm done. You're training him to serve you. We might get into a little bit more than that. I wish women would take themselves more seriously. They yada yada yada. Okay, but we're gonna get into this. I'm Nigerian. Trust me, a Nigerian diesel. She is a stripper, escort, speaking out of her hurt. Could be okay. I don't know you guys' culture, so I'm just going by what I'm hearing. So we'll get into it.
The network with these men and nothing was given. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to revert to what I know. Just put on tight dress, put the corset.
Oh no!
Oh, it worked.
Did it? No, but I'm saying like it's so annoying that it worked.
Yeah,
because it's like it's proving your point. It's like
yes,
I tried to do it, but
no,
now I went.
What I did, so I was at one of these industry parties out in south of France, and I
appreciate you, MS Delta.
Decided I'm going to play a little game with myself. I'm going to pick 5 men in the room whose shoes I genuinely like.
Yeah.
And obviously this is the advertising industry, so it's majority white people. And it's not my comfort zone to really talk to white people, but I had to challenge.
Why is it not your comfort zone? You're in an all white, well, mostly white. I think it's 80% white environment. Okay, basically the black environment's only like 3%. How come it's not in your comfort zone to talk to white people when you have to go to school with them?
Myself. So I was like, all right, I'm going to pick 5 men whose shoes I genuinely like. And what I did was, okay, first guy, I see him standing next to another guy talking, and I noticed he's wearing Jordans, and I like the colorway. I went up to him, I was like, excuse me, I'm so sorry to interrupt this conversation. I just want to say I love your Jordans. Where did you get them from?
Oh, look at you.
Where did you get them from? And I'm just shaking breasts.
In other words, a prostitute or a sex worker knows how to approach men, okay? So she's using the skills. It's not just her body, okay? It's her approach. It's because if you have to sell yourself for a living, you know how to sell your sex appeal. So you know that's the psyche of men, how to make them feel comfortable and give them what they need, right? Because that's how you make your money. So even though it's a tight dress and a corset and her boobs, okay, the thing is she knew exactly how to approach the guy and what to say to him because she's done it 1,000 times. So basically, this is black pill game, okay? Because she knows the inner desires of these men because that's how she makes her living. Okay, so but that's her. When women don't learn, develop game. What they do is game is passed down to them by what they've been taught. Women go more by what they've been taught than making up something new.
Where did you get this from? Because his eyes going, and then he's like, "Oh, I got it in Barcelona." Barcelona. Swear that I knew you got it somewhere outside of London because
the thing is she's thinking it's her boobs, okay? But the thing is, instead of the conversation that she's having with him, she's connecting with him, okay? She's basically taking She's taking what's interesting to him and flipping it, just like she would do in a club.
I'm from London. We don't have them kind of colorways in London. You must have great style. What do you do? Oh, I'm a CEO. Oh, you're a CEO. Oh, wow.
See how she's pumping up his psyche, right? Okay. And so she thinks it's just it's sex, but it's not. But it's also psychology. But the thing is, she's not smart enough to know it's the psychology and not the sex.
Oh, I love that. What is your role involve you doing? And then they'll ask me, what do you do? Oh, I'm a Sunday Times #1 bestselling author. And then they were like, oh my God, really? Because they're not expecting that because they're seeing breast and
Right.
And then they're interested in talking. And then what they do is they're like, oh, we got LinkedIn. Yes, let's connect on LinkedIn. Then I send them a selfie as the DM on LinkedIn.
Okay.
So it's kind of flatting, but it's also genuinely like opening up room for a connection.
In other words, it's called advertising. Okay, sex does sell. Okay, but she's not. I don't know if she's savvy enough or old enough to understand what she's doing. She understands the methods, but she doesn't understand the psychology behind it.
And now a lot of those men, they're still keeping up with what I'm doing. They're still watching stories, you know. So at least when I go back to South of France,
You can.
I can at least I started somewhere. Some people might argue that, oh, as a woman, you shouldn't have to flirt with a man to be able to network. But
Basically, and who says that? It's not men that say that. It's women that tell you that. It's the feminists that tell you that you shouldn't have to. Okay, you shouldn't have to. A handsome man a good-looking man knows that he gets a connection. Okay, black men know. Black men know that sex does sell because we do it all the time.
I found if you really deeped how men are,
I agree.
they give women opportunities based on how attractive. I can't change.
All people, women included, give opportunities by how attractive you are. Okay, that is a known industry fact.
Change that, so I'm gonna use it to my advantage.
Someone literally said that to my friend the other day. They was like, "You are not." They literally said to her, a guy who is like, he owns like a restaurant, whatever. He said, "I know girls that are not as attractive as you who use their looks. You're not using your looks enough to get what you need." And he goes, "And you're smart, and you're not even using your exterior." He said, "You should be using it more." And he, in a weird, he didn't mean it in a.
It doesn't sound like a dig. I get exactly what
not
saying.
even in a slimy way. He was even like trying to say to her, like, you are losing out on opportunities because there's women out there that are using everything they've got that to get further, and they'll get further than you, because he was almost saying, like you're saying, men, that's what they.
I can verify that what he's saying, unfortunately, is true, because in my community.
Why is it unfortunate? Okay, women do not want to compete like a man. Okay, women do not want to compete like a man. Okay, even though that's what your feminist training tells you that you should be able to do, you don't compete like a man. Okay, you don't. Okay, men don't. Men compete like men against men. Okay, men that are successful with women, they don't. They use their looks. They use all the avatars and the solutions and the looks and the hair and all that kind of stuff to date. Okay, they do. So saying that attraction doesn't matter is bullshit. Why do you? If that was the case, they'd use fat, ugly women to advertise. Okay, they know that it doesn't work. It's called nature.
Of dominatrixes, what's fascinating and ironic about this lifestyle is looks, as in like being stereotypically or societally pretty. That means nothing. The doms that I know who are the highest earners and most successful are very. I don't want to be rude. I'm going to say
they're average. But the thing is, the doms down when you get into black pill stuff, okay. And she doesn't understand what, like I said, women just use the environment as it is. They don't understand what makes the environment and why it actually does work, okay? Doms don't have to be pretty. It's because because only a certain kind of personality can delve into deep, dark side energy like that. And the doms do, okay? So what she's saying, now she's contradicting herself, okay? She's contradicting herself about sex and looks, okay? It's more. It's simpler and more complicated at the same time than that. The thing is, she's running off at the mouth. She knows what works and what doesn't work, but she doesn't understand why. You can hear it.
Say that they're not very memorable to look at.
Just why she looks so tired. Voice and body don't match. One, she's from the UK. She's probably younger than she actually looks. The reason she looks tired is because when you do this kind of work, it takes a toll on you, okay? Well, yeah, she's a dominatrix, yeah.
Right. Okay.
Like they're just normal.
Okay.
You'd walk past them in the street and there's nothing that stands out about them.
No, it's not dark feminine energy. What it is it's dark. It's okay. It's real quick. I'll just say for like 30 seconds, Big Mo. Okay, I've talked about this extensively, right? Okay. Basically, diesels deal with everybody has a light side, a forward-facing side that's positive, and everybody has a hidden, what we call a dark side, right? Okay. Hookers and sex workers deal on the dark side of men's desires. Okay, the raw uninhibited desires that men have that they have to hide is because it's not socially acceptable. But they can't express that with women of her ilk because they're there to actually accept the kind of energy, and so that gives that energy an outlet. So that's what they call dark side. She's an open she's not. She's a diesel. Okay, she's not a misandrist. She's a diesel.
Because it's all psychology. They understand a man's mind.
See,
there's doms that I know who are plus size, who have disabilities. They're pulling the money. And so it really has changed the way that I view what I used to think were the things that would make a man like me. I used to think, okay, like maybe if I'm slimmer, I've got bigger boobs, or, you know, XYZ, I'll be more attractive. No, men just like when you make them feel challenged, and when you make them
feel challenged. See, the thing is, that's still her feminist psyche going. You make them feel challenged. No. Okay? It's allowing them to express their needs, okay? Psychological needs. And sometimes it's making them feel challenged. Sometimes it's making them feel comfortable. Sometimes it's just complimenting them, okay? Which black women in America really don't understand. But I actually did I'm actually cutting a video, a standalone for my Black Pill Gnostic page about that as we speak.
Feel like they're not good enough, but in a way where you're not bringing them down necessarily, but making them feel like they need to really like earn that side of you because they love the game.
Right.
See, she still doesn't understand it. Okay, they love the game. Earn that side of you. Now, it's called speaking life into him, into his ambition. Okay, it's called believing in him. That's really what it is. It's really what it is, and they don't understand men. They understand men. They understand it from their sides. What women like. Women like to be believed in and comforted and spoke nicely to and appreciated and that kind of stuff. But they think, oh, men need to be challenged. It's because they see men go at other men. Okay. They see men go at other men, but men go at other men to actually see where they stand. Okay. They don't need that from a woman.
I know everyone's saying, I don't want to play games. That's fine. Men like playing games. Even the men who say they don't like playing games, they like playing games.
A little bit of it.
They love it.
I know.
So for me, it's like, I've learned to love the game. Because if you want to date men, you have to also recognize that you're opting into a game.
I saw you post something on your story the other day, and it was about the word prostitution getting thrown around. And me, myself, I would say, from my knowledge, I would say, when there's any sort of like monetary exchange for sex, whether that
most women know how to use the game, they don't understand it, okay? But they follow, like I said, she's learning from other people that's being passed down, okay? She doesn't understand why it works, okay? She just understands that it does work by observation, okay? Women learn from stuff being passed down to them, okay? Being shown. Women have to be shown, okay? Women have to be shown over time. That's how they learn. They don't extrapolate.
Bags, holidays, whatever, I would say that's a form of prostitution. You was basically saying, no, you don't agree with that. Or what was you saying? What's your stance on that?
First of all, the word prostitution, for those who may need clarity, is sex work.
Mm-hmm.
But the issue I take with the word prostitution is oftentimes people use the word prostitution in a negatively tinged way, almost like to chastise a woman. I get called a prostitute for saying that I wouldn't date a man who can't take care of me.
I wouldn't date base. That's a gold digger, okay? But that's old covenant marriage. That's not unusual, okay? But the thing is, you got to realize, what have you done in the past 60 years? Okay, you've changed the way men think. Okay, because you wanted independence. So you have socialized the boys to think differently, and this is the result. Now y'all don't like it. Now you guys want to. Now if you want a transactional relationship like that, then it's prostitution, because basically that's what you're making it, because you really don't believe it. You really don't believe in being a wife.
let alone
Right.
actually engaging in
Yeah. I get what you mean.
activities where I'm
Okay.
being paid.
hmm
But what's really interesting about this conversation I was having regarding prostitution was this came off the back of me saying that the thing people don't want to recognize is, and this is going to be very controversial to say, but marriage also is sex work, because a lot of women, what they're doing is, and this is controversial to say.
Go on. I'm gonna
because
hear this. Say this.
in your definition where you said earlier about prostitution, where you know, like, you sleep with a man, you get money, or you hang out with him, you get money. Why I say marriage is prostitution is because what happens is women engage in marriage from a place where, okay, ideally he's gonna take care of you.
He's taking care of the family, not you. Okay? That's what women don't realize. He's taking care of the family, not you. And you are part of the family. His house, his kids, his job is to take care of the family, and you're part of the family.
Financially, and there's a home for you both to live in. And what you are doing is you're fulfilling a role. So you're going to either be
Yes, baby, you're fulfilling a role. Okay, what is that role?
some sort of like homemaker, homekeeper.
That's not prostitution, okay? It's called being a wife and a mother, okay? But your feminists have told you that's transactional. That you should be paid for it, okay? So in other words, for taking care of your home and taking care of your kids, because those are your kids and that is your home, you should be paid. Not his home, not his kids, but your home and your kids. You should be paid. His job is to go out there and work and getting the money home to maintain you, the kids, and the house. Is because it's a family. Okay? Otherwise, you would have to do it by yourself. It's a unit. It's a family unit. So now you want to be paid for doing a role. What are you giving him? What is he getting out of the deal?
You're raising and rearing the kids, and you are
Raising and rearing your children, okay?
partnering with him and sleeping with him in the hopes that the trade-off will be that you get validation, love, and upkeep.
Validation, love, it's a trade-off, okay? The trade-off is more than just sex, okay? He wants the same thing.
And the man understands and believes that if he continues to fulfill that role for you, then the arrangement works, because marriage is an arrangement. Now, why I say it's prostitution is because whilst it's not necessarily on the surface, you're fucking for a transactional exchange.
Yeah, that's prostitution, okay? Without all the rest of that stuff.
There's something that you're fucking for.
But then there's the
What if there's something that you're fucking for, okay? What if the man is impotent and he can't fuck you? How happy will the wife be? Or what if what if the man, you stop having sex with the man, he still fulfills his role, but he goes out and he gets another girl to fulfill that role? Are you gonna be upset with him that he's going someplace else to fulfill that need, or even paying somebody else to fulfill that need? Right? You're gonna get upset.
basis of a relationship. I guess the reason why prostitution is because it's just it's sexual. It's nothing but sex. So you get the sex.
Okay. The goal is not to just create a lineage, okay? And that's a selling point. That is a selling point, okay? Because you're looking at it from an individual and local level, right? That's how they sell you on it, right? Your goal is to perpetuate your species and your society. That is your number one goal, okay? If you go back down to the village, okay, it's not about a lineage. Your lineage is fine, okay? Your number one goal is to do what? For a woman and a man, perpetuate your species, because what happens to your society if you don't fulfill it? It will die, and everybody's going to suffer. So all these talking points about lineage, about sex, about yada yada yada, okay, that's to sell you into doing what you're basically supposed to do anyway, biologically. Which is what's happening to societies all over the world, including the United States, right? Your society will start to die if you don't fulfill that purpose. Okay? This is Black Pill today. She doesn't hate men. She's black pill. Okay, she's a prostitute. Okay, the way prostitutes process men is differently than the way blue pill or regular women process men. So what you're seeing is the difference between a what I call a octane, okay, and I say she's probably right around a 92, somewhere around there, right? Okay, she's a regular octane and a diesel. That's why I separated the two, because the black pill diesel world does not operate the same way as the square world. Okay, this woman's the square. She's talking to a diesel. The Golden Society is not my. The Golden Society is to perpetuate the species. Okay, just like every other animal does on the planet.
You go, whereas a marriage, to even get to the marriage, there would have been a build of a relationship, friendship, gone through a few things.
Not necessarily, okay? They do this all over the world where they arrange marriages, okay? India does it. China will do it, okay? Koreans do it, okay? Africans do it, okay? Building of a relationship is not necessary, okay? It's not. You can build a relationship in marriage with the help of family. Happens all the time. In fact, guess what? Building a relationship, building a partnership, basically, guess what? The divorce rate is 60%. Okay, guess what? The arranged marriages is with the help of the family. It's less than 10. Which works better? As a BG Hurricane, the golden path of indifference let the dust flow. Yes. What did Maggie say? Oh, she's saying, hey to Chef Mike.
Families involved. Maybe you might even have kids now. So I think that's why people would be the
people
difference.
Wouldn't understand that, and why I'm fascinated by that is because what people really miss out on in that conversation and in their opposition to the idea of marriage being a form of sex work is once you stop being able to render that service to the man, he leaves you. So, for example, I've seen countless situations where the woman has gained weight after having children, and the man has decided he doesn't want to be with her anymore because either her libido has lowered, so she's no longer interested in having sex. She doesn't feel good about herself. She doesn't want to have sex. So that man moves on. Or the woman becomes disabled or becomes sick and needs long-term care from her husband. And he leaves because he can't be asked and he doesn't want to do that and he can't have sex with her anymore. So what I've observed is that...
It's what happens when you base marriage on a transaction, okay? You feminists have based marriage on a transactional partnership, okay? And you thought that it was a one-sided partnership. Thought it was a one-sided partnership, and you will basically the Leviathan we call society, called the law, okay, still is trying to keep you in a patriarchal arrangement in a feminist society, okay? And that's where the contradictions are coming in. That's like men are opting out of marriage. And it's getting to the point where men are opting out of dating. It's because, as the MGTOW said a decade ago, the juice is not worth the squeeze anymore. Okay, and men see value, and when men stop seeing value in an activity or a transaction, they'll start leaving it. And that's what's happening. And these are Brits. These are not black women. These are not black American women. Okay, these are UK citizens in a feminist society, and this is this feminist society breaking down right now. I said, do they have willful ignorance or just Western society? You know what? It's not. I don't think it's willful. Okay, and I'm starting because they've said this for a long time. I'm starting to believe it. Even the smartest women have a block on logical thinking. Okay, every now and then you see a woman that has they can actually think logically and think through the logical steps, right, instead of the emotional steps. Okay, this is how they feel. They're not even talking about logic because none of this shit makes sense. And the reason it doesn't make sense is because they're going from the side of what I feel or what I think I deserve or what I want. I want that man to take care of me no matter what. Now, would that woman stick by him if he stopped providing for her? That's the flip side of the coin. If that man got fired and stopped working and couldn't provide, would the woman step up and still stay married to him? Would she? If the other side of the contract was not fulfilled, would she stay married to him? People think it's a one-sided. My favorite says, none of this shit makes sense. No, it does not. It's cognitive dissonance in a sense, but it's not. Okay. This is why we get into the anima and the animus, right? The anima is the feeling side. Okay, she's speaking feelings instead of logic. Okay. And these are not Keishas. These are UK citizens. They're not Keishas. Okay. And I think she's Nigerian. These are not Keishas. Now, the marriage contract goes even further back than that. Okay. Now, there's a form of marriage contract that the Europeans created, but the thing is, the marriage contract goes back further than that. Basically, okay, basically, you need children. Okay. Okay, and basically, the so-called marriage contract that used to be, that's legal now, they put it in legal form, used to be enforced by who? The families. Both sides of families who enforce the so-called marriage contracts when they put two people together. When somebody on the continent brings go back to Joseph, right? I think it was it Joseph? It might have been Joseph. I can't. I think was it Joseph? It might have been whatever that in the Bible, right? I can't remember his name, right? Where he actually married two women from worked for 14 years to marry two women, right? Oh, that's a contract, okay? I'll give you my labor, you give me this woman, okay? That's a contract. So a marriage contract, in a sense, goes back further than that. But basically, what the marriage contract is supposed to do is so that the children can be perpetuated. It has nothing to do with the women. That they can develop children to perpetuate the society. That's what it's for. Even now with the marriage contract, most of the marriage contracts that you see that favor the women is because of children. It's not because of her. So it goes back further than that. And basically the marriage contract that they changed, especially after the custody of infants in 1839. Okay. Basically, the old marriage contract was the Hittites and the Greeks and the Romans, okay, where it goes even further back into the Middle East and into Africa, right? The marriage contract was that when they got married, that the children belonged to the men. Okay, he had to pay for her. He paid a dowry. He paid for her. And what he got was sex, and he also the offshoot of sex was the children, because the children were the biggest human resource. That's the biggest value in a family. Okay, so it's made transition, but the original marriage contract didn't come from Europe.
Once men stop seeing you as the person that can fulfill that transactional need that they want from you, their energy switches up very quickly.
Notice the word transactional. Okay. Notice the word transactional.
Do you think that's the case majority of the times? So
unfortunately, majority.
You think so?
I won't say every single man.
It's still a government contract that you have to appeal to the divorce for the state. That's the Leviathan getting into it, right? The Leviathan used to be the church that you had to appeal to the church to get a divorce, okay? And then it used to be the family, if you want to separate. Now, if you want to say the tribe or the family is the government, I guess it is. But the thing is, there's a reason for it, because it's not about the man or the woman, it's about the children. And basically, once the ownership of the children, the women knew once the ownership of the children transferred to them, they have most of the power because the state wants children. Okay, the society, in terms of the state, wants children. Because the value is in the children and the offspring of the next generation. I can't tell you how this theme keeps coming back over and over and over and over again with demographics. Okay, they were just talking about it and where the value is. So go back and look at Go. In fact, I read the paper. I'll send you the paper, Maggie, where they actually talked about it. Okay, when the shit started to change. Okay, because before then, um, and the reason they made the marriage contract like that, okay, with the dowry and all that kind of crap is because to keep the man from using a woman for offspring and kids, and once she got to a point where she's no longer able to have kids, he could actually toss her and replace her. Because the wealth that they acquired, the children that they acquired belonged to him. So her only guarantee that he wouldn't replace her or toss her out into the cruel world is the marriage contract. That's like most women want to get married with that protection. Okay, maybe not so much now. I'll send it to you. I mean, in fact, I did a whole video on it. Okay, me and Gigi actually did a whole video on it. Basically, Maggie, you're not black pill enough. That's all.
Because do you not feel like when you get
You got to get away from that blue pill thinking, Maggie.
because I can't speak because I'm not married, and I do feel like marriages get a bit stale. I guess what I've heard they do, and like from research and that stuff. So I guess I get what you're saying, but then I can't remember what I was going to say now about what was he saying?
When I was saying that the men leave when they can't have their needs.
No, I'm
met.
saying do you not feel that after a while that some men just stay anyway? Even if it's because
they do because because the sake of the family, they do. They do that. There's 30% of your marriages are non-sexual. Okay, 30% of your marriages are non-sexual, but they stay because of the children, because of the family.
Most men just stay because it's easier
Convenient.
to stay than to leave.
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay, they'll get destroyed, and plus they have to leave their kids. The kids are probably more important. Every man I talk to that's in a sexless marriage, why are they staying? They're staying for the sake of the children, the sake of the family.
So at least they still stay. So at least they're not going then.
The only times a man is going to leave a marriage is if he's already patterned the replacement. Men.
See how transactional she is, right? Because she's a diesel. That's how diesels think. Diesels know that a diesel has to have a disposable mindset because she's disposable. She's there to be used. Okay? There's nothing personal. Okay? I get something, you get something, and you can dispose of me. That's the whole reason having a hooker, having a diesel, having a sugar baby is because she is disposable. Okay?
If a man has not found your replacement, he's happy to just stay and just.
Make it happen, make it work.
We've got lots of our names together on joint accounts.
Exactly. It's business, okay? And that's what she sees. She sees this whole thing as a transaction. So in other words, we have a regular chick, okay? A regular, I wouldn't say blue pill, but a regular square chick talking to a diesel. And she's trying to make sense of it. They're talking two different languages.
Long to leave. Once he's found a replacement, suddenly he's ready to be the one that will even initiate the breakup. A man is rarely ever going to tell you, you know what, let's...
But also, we got to understand, this is not an American society that she's talking about. So we have to take it with an edge of salt, okay? Because the marriage contracts in the UK may not work the same way that they do in America.
End this. They're happy to co-spy and drag you along until you're ready to end it. And this is why I'm very radical in my work. A lot of people will not like my approach or they might not like my lifestyle, but genuinely, like, I'm having the best experiences with men that I've ever had.
Really?
As opposed to when I used to be because I used to be I started from pick me, and then I evolved into what I am now, where I've learned, okay, pick me don't work. It just doesn't work.
Okay.
So now I'm in a place where I date very selfishly, and there's men who will give me attention, and just from the onset, I'm not going to give the attention back.
Yeah, because you know what you want. You know who you are. Okay? You know who you are. In other words, basically, diesels know their prey.
I can just tell from the environment we've met in, you're not the guy for me. And that's okay. Like, look, you're probably spending all your money on your drip, and I love that for you. You can't afford to do anything for me. Like,
exactly. It's transactional. Okay? It's transactional. She knows. She's a diesel.
The things that I would require as a woman, you can't.
So then outside of the money, what else do you require?
That's a good question because...
see? So she's laughing.
I like my space. You know
so
what?
But you wouldn't be with a guy that has money but is not kind to you.
No, because I like kindness is a
Right,
given.
yeah.
Like,
Okay, no, because we just need to
I wouldn't even
clarify
be
that,
friends
because
with
some
someone who's
people
not kind to me.
because the go-to people, the moment you say, oh, money, oh, so what, you treat like shit, and so we have
Yeah,
to, for
because
the
we always
dummies, we
see
have
things
to,
in binaries.
that's what I'm saying, yeah.
For
So,
me,
but yeah.
no, like you don't have to endure anything you don't like just because a guy's giving you money. There are
No.
men who have given me money and I've still cut them off because they got carried away.
Mm.
You know, it's about valuing yourself in a way where nothing is worth you enduring discomfort, not even money. And I speak from a position of having my own money, and that's why it's so important as a woman to have your own money so that you can use his money to expand your own money.
See? Use his money, expand your own money. She's a diesel, okay? It's a business.
So instead of paying your own bill, he pay your bill and you use your money to build your business.
Yeah, she's a diesel. It's a transaction.
You use your money to have your savings. You use your money to indulge in the hobbies and the therapy and the well-being activities you need to be a balanced human being.
In other words, basically, doing this kind of work fucks you up. Okay, it does. Being that kind of human being fucks you up. Being a transaction human being, that's how come billionaires have to have psychiatrists, right? They do it, and it takes a certain personality to actually do this shit. That's how come this chick, this diesel here, is talking a different language than the regular chick. Okay, that's why I separate them. A courtesan is different. Okay, a courtesan is there to make her man better. Okay, the reason that a courtesan is different is because she's basically, courtesan is basically made for men that are wealthy. Is because she has knowledge to imbue him, to make him more successful. This chick is not a courtesan. She has not said one thing where she helps the man out. Not one thing. A courtesan, if you listen to a courtesan, just like I said, Sadia Khan, right? Listen to a courtesan. She talks about how being with her and with a man that needs her and helping him out psychologically, how he can actually make her better. In fact, Billions, if you look at Billions, right? Okay, he married a dominatrix, and she does dominatrix shit. But the thing is, she does it so that to keep his psyche better and help him make more money, be more successful. She is acting as a courtesan. KMS says, "Is marriage sex for ladies work? For ladies work? Yes." To quote Bill Belichick, "Do you fuck? Do your fucking job, ladies. Unless you chicks are willing to supplement the work. If not, clock in and get in position." Thing is, okay, if it was just work, okay, it was just a chore like cleaning or cooking or something like that, okay. KMS, your wife would not mind, okay, if you hired a good cook to come in and cook her meals and take all the pressure off her cooking. She wouldn't mind that, right? She would not mind a full-time maid and nanny to offload some of the work that she does around the house and even with the care of the children, right? She wouldn't mind that, right? Okay. Now, if she stopped having sex and you decided to pick up a couple side chicks, which I know you could, okay, would she be upset? That's when it stops being work. Now, if you can say that your woman will allow you to have a couple side chicks and she ain't gonna say shit, then okay, then it's work. Tracy Edmonds probably would be a courtesan. There are courtesans, even basically what's his name? Steve Harvey, his wife. Okay, even though she was married to drug dealers, right? Okay, all her men made more money. That's a courtesan, in a sense.
Other than shucking and jiving to stay alive, and the man is there, what's he there for?
Okay, one of my last questions, because I always wonder when women like yourself speak like this. When you have a son, what are you going to teach him?
To be a provider.
That's it.
Hundreds.
So,
every time I saw it, I thought he was married to her. But she was acting, and guess where else she worked? She worked for the opposition too, right? Okay, she was using her knowledge, skills, and abilities to actually make not only him better, but also the other guy that she was working with better. Okay, that's a courtesan.
Like, if
I've got 2 younger brothers, right?
so, if your brothers or if your son comes home and says, "Mom, I met this woman, she did this, she says I need this," you're gonna be like, "That's how it should be."
I'm gonna be like, have you treated her like a queen? Have you made sure that you've read your books first? Make sure you focus on building success for yourself as a man before you even look at a girl.
So you think, okay,
Even looking at a girl, okay, it's bullshit, okay. But that is the feminist. It is the neoliberal feminist-minded thinking, right? Because guess what? In Mexico, they don't do that shit. Okay. In Thailand, they don't do that shit. Okay. In India, they don't do that shit. In Africa, they don't do that shit. Okay. That is the Western-minded thinking, and that is the American Western-minded feminist thinking that's is starting to leak over into the UK.
which is right. I think a lot of men are dating and they shouldn't be dating. I do.
Men should always date. Okay. Men should always date. Now, in certain societies and certain classes of people, okay, and it's also a class thing, right? In India, okay, in other words, we got you on a path. Make sure that your path is always set, and we'll find you a wife, okay? Telling men that they shouldn't date, okay, that's a neoliberal way of thinking.
Think that a lot of men are dating and they should not.
Got nothing to bring to a woman's life.
See, there's nothing to bring to a woman's life, okay? That's that transactional thinking that's imbued into a feminist thinking and feminist society. That some shit is coming apart.
Why are you there? Go and use that time and that money you're using to buy her love bombing gifts to go and put into your business, to go and pay for a course in your if it's production or engineering. Go and do something.
It's so
Not chasing
true.
girl. Because my thing is, if a man is in a bad place and he's dating, that tells me that he's got misaligned priorities. So we're not compatible.
And he's the devil in disguise.
Yeah, he's gonna bring you that. A man will only bring you to where he's at in his life. If he's up here and he feels good about himself and things are going well for him, that's a dating experience you'll have.
See, that is the transactional thinking, okay? At the finish line, okay?
If he's down here and he's struggling and he's having a hard time and his whole life is itching him, that's what you're going to be dealing with. And he will
bring you down.
That is hypergamy in a nutshell, okay? The way women think is hypergamy in a nutshell. She said nothing about bringing a man up. She said nothing about bringing a man up. It's a one-way transaction, okay? Which is why women that are educated and are doing well can't date. It's because they're thinking that I don't need a man to bring me down, instead of focusing on a man that you can bring up, or a man that takes care of your needs. That's why this modern-day feminist thinking does not work.
Down, and then he'll
bad vibes
and just start make you doubt in yourself.
Especially if you're a public figure. I see women do this thing where, like, because they're celebrity women or public figure women, they go for the safe option of choosing a man who is broke so that he can't leave. It's like
exactly. But the thing is, she's looking at this. This is what happens when Black UK women push aside their own culture, because I think she's Nigerian. Okay, push aside their own culture and look to American culture that they don't understand. They look to Nigerian. These are Nigerians in the UK looking to American culture and what Americans do and try to understand it from the outside, which is what I was trying to tell the guys that are in the UK. How come it's not a one-to-one thing? Okay, you're seeing something that you think you understand, but you don't understand it. You don't understand what that woman needs and what role that guy plays. Now I heard this. Maybe I'll play it tomorrow. Okay, there was a white guy in Thailand that was saying the exact same thing. Now it's not even a black culture. Okay, in Thailand, where the women in Thailand did the exact same shit that she's talking about. Exact same shit.
Go. That guy will break you down, boy.
not my portion. I would rather be single.
Because you
Ah.
start even
Flirting.
dating those guys.
In other words, I'd rather be single. I'd rather do bad all by myself.
And then they start making you question yourself. You're like, wait a minute.
I've been there.
What is happening
Like,
here?
I'm doing you a favor. Wait, that's the thanks I get. It's a thankless job, babe.
Like, are you all right? You know the ones that you have to think to yourself, are you okay here? Like,
This is why I do octanes. Okay, this is why I do octanes. And if she's a dominatrix, she's at that level. Then she's what I call a high order octane chick, a high order diesel. Okay, she's third level. Okay, and what an average stripper or average street prostitute does, and the kind of guy she gets versus the kind of guy that this chick is gonna get, are two different kind of guys. But the thing is, you listen to a high level diesel talking.
Do you
know
realize
what's-
that I'm...
do we understand what's going on?
Do we have an
Because
understanding?
This is
You just men, we're doing so bad. Why don't they just stop dating? Okay, it sounds like succubus crazy because Miss Delta, you know, it's more complex than that. Okay, people have needs beyond lifestyle. Okay. KMS says, be it just, of course you'd be upset. If I supplemented her marital duties out, the best thing she can do is prevent that is show up to work with enthusiasm. I'll tell you this, man. When I was engaged, right, this some guy, God, man, I can't believe how long it's been. Okay, I was engaged, man, laying in the bed with my fiance, right, and she's talking that shit, okay, about sex and how come she didn't want to have sex, yada yada yada, right? And so I let her go on for like a good 15 minutes about it, and she was whining about it. I said, look, baby, I said, let's make a deal, right? I said, I need to fuck 3 times a week. If I can't get it at least, I said, you get the 4 days off. If I can't fuck 3 times a week, guess what? Keep it, okay? I'll find somebody else to take your place, okay? As far as sex, okay? We stay together, yada yada yada, but I'm gonna fuck somebody else, okay? If you don't want to do it, that's fine. I understand it. You don't have to. I will find somebody to take up that role for you. She thought about it for about a good 5 minutes. Guess what? She took them panties off, and she had a good time. Let's put it that way. I never tolerated that shit. You're not gonna hold me hostage, okay? I don't care if we have kids or not kids, okay? I'm like, I learned when I was young. I listened to Blue Rawls. I'd rather drink muddy water, right? Sleep in hollow log, okay? And I believe that. I'd rather be homeless, okay, than be held hostage.
this is wild, but yeah.
But you know what's crazy, right? Like the same way like a broke guy will come at you sideways, like even a guy who's got money will come at you sideways. Everybody needs to know their place. Like I'm not afraid to walk away from anything. Even if I meet a guy who's like, okay, I'm going to buy your house, buy you all the stuff. You can't control me.
Right.
I don't want to be in a situation where a man feels comfortable to talk outside of his neck to me.
And that's a diesel, okay? That's a diesel. Yeah, you basically if you can see it in her face, okay, look at her face, okay, you can see the effects on her face, even though she's wearing makeup. They're the same age. They're probably the same age. In fact, she's probably younger than the other woman, right? You can see it in her face. This is a toll that being a diesel takes on your psyche and your body, okay? So she's probably on drugs.
And I don't have to endure that because he has money. I don't have to endure that because he's famous. I don't have to endure anything. And even now, right, like I'm single. I've not slept with a man since 2021.
Hey,
and the pussy has not fallen out of me. It's still there. I have a great time.
2021.
Haven't slept with a man since 2021. Okay, why not?
2021.
But like, you please yourself.
I definitely DJ.
Okay. I like that one.
Right. And I have a great time doing that. But for me, it's like in all of that time from 2021 to now 2024, I've still had like flirty moments with men. I've still collected men's money. I've still had a great time.
Oh my gosh.
But what happens a lot of the time is just when I'm about to be like, you know what? I might actually give this guy a chance to lick my pussy. He does something to piss me off. And I'm like, you know
you're
what?
not even getting head?
No, not even head.
Oh wow.
In other words, it's basically she's indulging in she's probably, if she's doing sex, she's probably doing it over the phone. Okay, that's how come she's not giving up any pussy. But there's a whole bunch, there's a whole complex thing that's happening with her. But you can see it reflected in her face. Okay, if you look at their faces, right, she's looks much younger, much happier, right. This chick is not happy. You can tell.
So you are really
I'm
just.
Oh, she's doing OnlyFans. Okay.
very disciplined.
You are.
I really am.
You're very disciplined.
Yeah, because I've trained myself to
That's
only
what
be
I
turned
feel,
on by
but that's what I'm saying. When I speak,
See her. See the difference in faces. How she looks much younger. She don't have the stress lines in her face that the other one does.
I feel like there's this kind of like it's so like calculated.
you have to be.
It is calculated. Okay. She's calculated. She is what she is. Let's put it that way. I get the impression that diesels are to be avoided. She senses no obligation to the man and even seems to hate men. Diesels have their needs. Okay, you have to understand what diesels are for. Okay. Diesels are selling a product. Diesels are product. Okay. Okay. A lot of guys go to diesels looking for love. Okay, because they can't get love and affection. Or the impression of love and affection. So they go to a diesel that will pretend for them. Pretend to care about them, pretend to love them, blah, blah, blah. And they get that feeling. It's all about an experience, right? Okay, they sell an experience, or whether it's real or not. And some guys don't care whether it's real or not. Okay, they just want the experience, and that happens. So she's there to sell you a product, just like you go to a movie. Okay, you don't know those people up there on the screen. Okay, you're there for 2 hours to consume a product that will give you a certain kind of feeling. Strippers, prostitutes, all that kind of stuff is that they're fulfilling a need for a price. So my lady tried to pull the bedroom rationing talk on me once. After I heard her out, I told her she could pick her replacement. Never had it again. Now I don't play that shit. We're in an agreement. Yeah, I'm being faithful to you is because you're supplying my needs. Okay. If KMS wanted to go back to school and go broke and she had to pick up the slack as far as the bills and kind of stuff, she would not be happy, okay? It's not a one-way thing. I signed the contract for the whole gamut, for the whole gamut, okay? If you're going to play games with it, basically, and this is something that I think I played it. I probably need to play it again about why men buy sex, okay, or transactional sex. And there's one guy, Taraban actually had a client as right. He basically got a divorce and she got alimony, yada 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 yada. And he said, you know what? After calculating the time we've been together, the times we had sex, and the amount of money I had to pay out, see that I actually paid out $50,000 per session. Okay. He could have had a better time paying instead of $50,000. Okay, he could have got the same transaction for 1,000 times less. Okay, if it was just a sexual transaction, 1,000 times he could have paid that $50 per transaction and made out like a bandit. Okay, and save a whole lot of money. Yeah. I'll find it, man. We got time. I'll find it. I don't know if my grandson's got homework. If he doesn't have homework, I'll find it for you. And I got a few minutes. We'll find it for you. Okay. Play a little bit more of this, and I'll find it for Taraban's thing for you.
Because men are
But that's
calculated.
what I'm saying. It's almost like a course.
Yes.
Like exact. This is what works. This doesn't work. I've tried this. No, we don't do that. Me now, I will know this doesn't work, and I'll do it again. Hey, let me try. Just maybe one last time. Maybe we'll give it one more go. Why not?
You don't have that time.
I know.
So women don't understand the ramifications of it. Okay. 50,000 per. Yeah, with 50,000, you could have Yeah, basically. Let me see if I can find it for you guys real quick, because it blew my mind. 'Cause I know it's bad, but I didn't think it was that bad. Okay, I didn't think it was that bad when he said 50,000 per transaction, and we're at an hour. So if I find it, that'll be the last, and we'll bounce on out of here. It's a PSYCH. Let's see if he pops up. There he is. Videos, if we can find it. It's a while back. Let's see. I can go ahead and show it on the screen since you guys, so you can see what I'm doing, so it's not just blank. Basically, and so you know that it's more than just looks, because she's not the best looking woman on the planet. Okay, so it has to be more than just looks. Many action. I probably should have clipped it and saved it, but you don't. Double blind. Okay. Maybe it was prostitutes. Cause I did find it. Oh, why? Okay, here it is. Okay, why rich men use escorts? Okay.
Dr. Orion, the use of escorts, I can want to mate and date. This is why, for example, it's probably best for a woman to be like an 8.5. If you're an 8.5, you're definitely problems. They're not problems of survival, but self and your family are real problems. And these men experience even less sympathy for their difficulties than beautiful women do. After all, if a man has wealth and status and fame, he typically enjoys very good optionality with women. So why would a man like this use escorts? It isn't as though there is a dearth of women who would be interested in dating him. Is it really true that all these men are just immature narcissists who delight in the objectification of women? Or might there be another explanation for this not uncommon behavior among this particular demographic? But before I answer these questions, if you're liking what you're hearing, please consider sending this episode to someone who might benefit from its message, because it's word of mouth referrals like this available for pre-sale on Amazon, description below. So check them out. One of my good friends is a corporate lawyer, and he bills his time at $1,300 an hour. Now, that may sound like a lot, but it's kind of the going rate for a partner at a top-tier law firm. By the same token, there are folks in my space online who charge $2,000 to $3,000 an hour for a consultation. And then you get into the rarefied realm of bank presidents, celebrities, tycoons, and professional athletes who can easily command tens of thousands of dollars or more for an hour of their time. However, to make this talk more accessible, let's just use the lawyer's rate as the standard of measurement. So let's assume a man is making $1,300 an hour, like my friend. In the traditional dating pipeline, what would be expected of him? Well, first, he'd have to spend some time making something happen. Maybe he has to go out to a bar on a Saturday night and rizz up a girl. And this is hardly a sure thing, even at the local meat market. So he'll have to have the energy and the emotional resilience to deal with the rejection that inevitably stands between him and an actual prospect. Or he'll have to spend time creating a dating profile on an app that won't land him in the invisible 90% functionally ignored by all women, and swiping on hundreds of accounts in order to get some matches. Either way, once he succeeds in getting a number, he'll need to spend more time playing the text game in order to help the woman feel sufficiently safe and sufficiently attracted, which is not an easy balance to strike, to meet up for an actual date. Of course, he'll be expected to plan the date, which will almost certainly occur at some neutral location, as opposed to his house, several days or even weeks out. On the date, he'll be expected to cover all the expenses, but as we'll see, this is the most inexpensive part of dating for him. The meeting itself will probably last 2, maybe 3 hours, with potentially an hour of commuting to and from the location. So he likely has to block off an entire evening, and busy, successful men may only get 1 evening off a week, if that. And given all this time and effort and expense, there is, of course, absolutely no guarantee that the man will even be attracted to the woman in question, let alone succeed in securing a sexual encounter. And irrespective of the moral or ethics involved, this is frustrating because since men attempt to exchange resources for sexual opportunity in the sexual marketplace, this is why he's there. So even if we ignore all the monetary expenses associated with the date itself, which are potentially not insignificant, a 3-hour date bookended by an hour of travel at $1,300 an hour is $5,200. This means this guy is paying $5,000 in terms of the cost to his time to go on a date with you. And this does not include any of the time and effort that went into securing the date. This may come as a shock, but most women do not just show up into a man's life with an intention to make his life easier. For most men, it's a lot of fucking work to get sex and relationships from women. You hear a lot about the emotional labor that women perform for men. But it's absolutely true that men perform a great deal of emotional labor for women. It's just that the man's labor typically has to do with getting laid and securing and maintaining the relationship. To do this, men often have to be charming or funny or cool. They have to stimulate your emotions and arouse your attraction. They have to listen to you talk, or that they could possibly want to do literally anything else with their time and attention. Easy to do. Even the most successful Casanovas strike out more often than they how you operate. In any case, dating you requires a lot of bandwidth for that. Dating just feels like another with the dating process, but that's not why we're here today. We're looking at dating with little to no sympathy for their difficulties. The problems of really beautiful, handle being beautiful abilities are so definitely attractive enough to get plenty of attention, sexual marketplace value to target for a long-term relationship. By understanding how to endorse the use of escorts, I can certainly understand. In fact, I've since radically changed my opinion of these men, in part due to numerous conversations I've had with men who have used escorts, and in part due to my own experiences in the sexual marketplace as I've become more successful. Though I can't say that I endorse the use of escorts, I can certainly understand it. And this talk is specifically addressed to women to help them comprehend the types of problems unique to highly successful men, who are presumably the kind of men they would most like to target for a long-term relationship. By understanding how the economics of dating change as a function of success, women can better position themselves to secure the type of men with whom they most want to mate and date, provided they, like me, can move past the reflexive judgment they may carry with respect to the topics. Regardless of whether you're a man or active women, and the most to be like an 8.5. Actually avoid a lot of the downsides and liabilities associated with being fabulously attractive. Their eyes at this suite of problems and say, oh, poor, they're not problems of survival, but if we're honest, neither are the problems that their haters are contending with. Beautiful women receive little to no sympathy for their difficulties, not because their difficulties are high 6, low 7 figures a year. That is more than enough to provide a comfortable and enjoyable lifestyle for yourself and your family. Anything more than that, and men start to deal with a suite of problems that less successful men don't even know exist and never have to deal with. And if anyone garners more unearned hatred than the beautiful, it's the wealthy. People scoff at the champagne problems of the rich, But the problems of really successful men are real problems. And these men experience even less sympathy for their difficulties than beautiful women do, not because their difficulties aren't real, but because there are so few other people who have experienced them. Now, you might think that being a highly successful man would be a wonderful liability in the sexual marketplace, and you would be correct. After all, if a man has wealth and status and fame, he typically enjoys very good optionality with women. So why would a man like this use escorts? It isn't as though there are...
I'll have to find it because it'll take too long to find the clip. So I'll find it and I'll put it up as a short. So, but anyway, because I got to go. KMS 100%, I think chapter 7 is my favorite so far. Okay, yeah, I haven't read his book. I'll ask you guys to buy his book and get his book and actually read it. Hope it's on like on Audible, so I can actually listen to it, see what he has to say. My dad used to hustle pimps playing pool and taught him the game along with losing their money to him. Women are a waste of money. Might as well pay off an escort. It's a different equation, okay? Y'all, you guys, you're jumping to conclusions. Thing is, it's all in what you want, okay? There's a lot of guys here that are very well-to-do and could probably have a better time having sex with the money that they make. And probably, you know, for the most part, a lot of these guys that are in this chat, you know, with their position and stuff like that, they probably can get it for free. Okay, believe it or not. A guy that has a decent circle of friends and can show a woman a good time, he can actually get pussy for cheap, depending on the caliber of woman that he wants. Okay, because you're giving her an experience that she can't have without you. Okay. Oh, low volume level. Yeah. Okay. Basically, you know, basically you guys got to understand. There's a calculus to this, okay? And it starts with what you want. What do you want out of that woman? Okay? And depending on what you want out of that woman, that will actually figure into your equation about what you're going to pay or not pay. And that equation depends on who you are, what you want out of the woman, what kind of woman that you're going to chase, what you're going to put up with, a whole bunch of shit. Because there's going to be a give and take, whether it's emotional or it's financial or whatever, right? And I've seen both sides, okay, where she's looking to buy you versus you buying her, because what they think that they're going to get out of you. So I've seen both sides of the equation. So that's how come it's the equation. I said, trail two for 10 dances. Damn, you gotta bleach your clothes afterward. Escorts are cool until she reaches an orgasm and catch feelings, then instantly forget it's just a transaction. That is always a problem. Okay, that has always been my problem. Okay, that's how come I've never deal. In other words, most women do not want to feel that they're disposable, right? Prostitutes and diesels have come to the conclusion that they're disposable. They're good with it, even though it fucks them up. Okay, that who they are, what they are, is between their legs, and it's a transaction, and emotionally it fucks them up. Just like that chick that you saw, even though she's doing OnlyFans, right? Okay, emotionally she's fucked up. You can tell by her face. Well, anyhow, man, we'll pick this up at another time, man, because I gotta go do some homework, and I just want to show. But the thing is, even what he talked about as far as the lawyer and how much the lawyer pays per transaction. Even the OnlyFans chick, even though she thinks she's empowered and shit like that, some of the guys that have come into her session, that can't afford to give her something, they can't afford to be with her, okay, she can never close the deal because they won't close the deal, okay? She's there to be used, okay? And even the reason she hasn't had sex in 3 years or almost 4 years is because she doesn't want to be used. because it fucks with her ego. But the thing is, she got to put on a brave face. That's like she equates marriage with sex work, with a transaction, because that's how she lives her life. Anyhow, let's get the fuck up out of here, man. KMS says, I'm not with my woman because of sex. That would be foolish. Her sex will never be off the menu. It's because at the end of the day, okay, you're not there to grind and take care of the family to be a workhorse for free, okay? Basically, it's a covenant. That's an old fucking covenant marriage, okay? It's not. I don't know why women think it's that fucking hard, right? Okay, if you can be better without him, you don't want to give up sex. Basically, hey, either let him fulfill his needs or basically find his replacement, just like you said. They don't want to do that. So if that, because sometimes KMS doesn't want to get up and spend all his money on a car or a house or whatever he wants to spend the money. He could have a perfectly good time, man, by doing what he does overseas someplace else and live in a big house overlooking the sea and having a whole harem. Okay, but he does that. He doesn't do that because he believes in family, and women are forgetting that. Anyhow, let me get up out of here, y'all. Appreciate the super chats. Let me check for cash apps real quick so I can thank some people. No cash apps, so we're good. We're clear on that point. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Actually, I'm probably going to do a pre-recorded on this using Pimp Guy. Okay, I'll probably do a follow-up pre-recorded on this. And if I do that, I probably will find the clip. Anybody that's heard the whole thing, you probably can find it yourself, but I will probably put up the clip. I think I love my wife. It is okay. We can't get into it now, but thing is, married women have taught me a lot about sex and fidelity and relationship. That's how come I'm black pill about it, right? Okay. If everybody knows my 6 rules, right? I don't give a fuck if she cheats. Okay. As long as I don't find out, okay? Because there's no way you could actually, there's no 100% guarantee, especially in an urban area, that she's not cheating, okay? Because men know how to keep their mouths shut and women know how to hide it, okay? So unless you're really looking, unless you really get sloppy, then you probably won't find out. So why you worry about it, right? So my 3 rules are what? Take care of me, take care of my house, take care of my children, okay? Those are the do's. Your don'ts is, don't come, if you are fucking around, don't come back with any attitudes, babies, or diseases. Okay? And the caveat should be known already. Don't embarrass me and don't let me find out. Okay? If you do your job well enough on the home front, and if you cheat, you do your job well enough, I'll never find out. I don't even give a fuck. I don't care. Okay? What you do on your own time when I'm not with you, if it doesn't affect me, I don't give a shit. That's just me. Because I've seen too many married women cheat successfully over many years. So that's why it's a waste of my time and energy to actually follow her around. But with that being said, let me get out of here, and I will see you guys tomorrow with the AMA. So with that, we out. So peace, folks.
Hey!